Happy Tuesday, everyone, and happy Halloween week. I'm decked out here in my Halloween schnauzer shirt and my cute little witch's cap because today's practice is all about Halloween poses. I bet you didn't even know there were Halloween poses. Well, actually, there are no Halloween poses. They're the same poses that you know and love. I've just renamed them today for our special Halloween practice. So props today, all you need, if you want, when we go to our hands and knees, a knee pad, or a hand towel, or a gardening pad, anything to put under your knees for cushion. You don't have to if you're okay. If you're on carpeting, you're probably okay. Or if your yoga mat is extra thick, you're probably okay. So we are going to get started. There's no music playing, so if you want to turn on some spooky music, you can, or anything else that you desire. And we'll get started with our hand gesture. Today's hand gesture is from the American Sign Language, and it's the word for celebrate, because we're getting into that season where we're going to have maybe some Halloween celebrations, maybe small ones this year, or maybe just a small family gathering at Thanksgiving instead of the larger one. I know we've canceled our big Thanksgiving celebration this year and are just going to have a small gathering. So anyway, we're still going to celebrate. So the word celebrate is made by bent index fingers and then just kind of swirl right next to your temples. Do that again, just a little swirl. Crazy celebrations, right? Hopefully we'll have some small intimate gatherings. Let's get started with our warm-up. I'm backing up so you can see me head to toe. Make the number 11 with your feet. Our spinal warm-up is the same as always, nothing fancy or Halloweenish about that. Let's start with elongation. Scoop the air up and relax the arms down. Do that again. Inhale, lift. Go at your own pace now. Stretch as high as you can. Maybe add a little dip in the knees, warming up those hips and lower legs, thighs. One more. And release, going into standing cat and cow. Exhale, round your back, tuck the chin. Inhale, reverse the curve, open the heart. Go at your own pace. Pinch those shoulder blades together as you lift the heart up. One more pattern. Exhaling forward, inhaling as you open the body, and then return to stand tall. Going into lateral flexion. Separate your feet a little bit wider than your hips to give you a little larger foundation. And let's just keep our hands at our shoulders today. So thumbs touch the shoulders, or maybe fingertips and the elbows are straight out. And just like you're a clock, a pendulum clock, keep your knees soft, don't lock them out. Just think about tilting only sideways. Don't tilt forwards, just sideways. Pinching the rib cage towards the hip bone. One more each side. And release. Roll those shoulders back. We'll finish off with rotation. We'll do slow motion sprinter, like you're trying to escape those spooky ghosts and goblins that might be chasing you. Right arm forward, left elbow back, and switch. Keep the knees soft. Twisting through the rib cage and shoulders, but keeping the hips almost stationary. Engage the abdominal muscles. Let's do one more each side. And release. Roll those shoulders back, and let's come into what we normally call mountain pose, but today it's skeleton pose. Line up everything over the heels. Knees, hips, shoulders. Draw your shoulder blades into your back pockets, even your ears draw back to line up over your heels in skeleton pose. We're going to go into monster roar, which is a lot like lion face. So let your hands relax. Don't try to keep them extended with energy. Go ahead and just relax everything. Give it a shake. And on this one, your eyes are going to look up towards the ceiling when you exhale and make that roaring sound with your tongue sticking out. So take a big inhale, exhale, eyes up, roar. Relax, we'll do it twice more. Inhale. One more time, side, monster roar. Inhale. And relax, energizing those eye muscles with that look towards the ceiling. Step wide on your mat. Externally rotate, so your toes are pointing out and your heels are inward. Let's go into a little baby squat and lift. Baby squat and lift. Now start to pick up one foot and then the other. Doesn't matter which one you start with. And this is monster walk. And let's add our monster roar back in. Two more. Last one. And rise up. Walk those feet back together and prance it out. All right, we're going to go into spider pose now. Now, spiders have 8 legs. We only have 2, but we can use our other limbs and fingers to represent a spider. So step wide once again. This time, keep your toes pointing towards your screen. Your feet are parallel, like 2 sticks. We're going to have our hands on the hips and pull from the hips. Energizing the core muscles here. Push your bottoms away. Don't block out those knees. Keep them soft. You can stay here. Maybe bring the hands to the thighs. If you can, bring the hands all the way down to the earth. And then look underneath your legs. And now cross the arms. Doesn't matter which way you start. Walking those hands a little further away from each other. Fingertips on the earth. If you cannot do this all the way to the earth, you could do it on your thighs or your shins. One more breath cycle. And we're going to go the other way. So creep those creepy fingers back and then cross the other way. Look underneath your legs, bow the head. Keep your knees soft, push your bottoms away. Spider pose. One more breath cycle. Hands come back to center, knees are soft, hands on your thighs, round all the way up. Roll your shoulders back and walk the feet together. All right, we're going to go into a little flow here. Just 2 poses together, Frankenstein and vampire. So starting off with that tennis ball between the big toes, Frankenstein arms. And the vampire, pretend you have a cape and you're going to rise up on the balls of your feet and send your cape out and then relax. We'll do that 3 more times. Frankenstein, rise up, inhale, exhale, release. Frankenstein, inhale, rise up and release. That was my ankle cracking. One more time. Frankenstein, vampire, and release. Go ahead and walk it out. All right, we are going to go into a layer cake because, of course, it's a celebration and we've got to have a Halloween cake. So our Halloween cake has 6 layers and it's going to start off with your left leg moving off to the left. So scoot yourself a little bit closer to the right end so you've got room to go into that wide stance. It looks a lot like Warrior 2, except I'm going to change it. So start in skeleton. Pick up your left leg, step it off, bending your left knee, pointing the toes to the left. Throw that right shoulder back, extend out into a T. Gosh, it looks like Warrior 2, right? Except in your left hand, you have a wand because you're a wizard, and you're going to take that wand and cast your spell twice. And then return to skeleton. Second time. Step it wide into your wizard pose. Cast your spell twice with your magic wand. Soft knees back to skeleton. Do that again, one more time. Step it wide, right shoulder back. Cast your spell. Soft knees, skeleton. Next layer, this is called rising mummy. It's rising up out of the grave. Step wide to wizard. Shoulder back, cast your spell twice. And now straighten that left knee and tilt the body. You can go a little lower if you like. And now like you're a mummy rising up out of the grave. Arms up, soft knees, skeleton. Second time. Step wide, wizard. Hold your wand and cast your spell twice. Straighten the knee and tilt the body. And then rise up, rising mummy. Soft knees, skeleton. Last time, going into wizard. Cast your spell twice. Straighten the knee and tilt. And then lift up out of the grave. Soft knees, skeleton. Rinse it out. Going into our next pose, it's going to bring your feet back together into a low squat. Looks like chair, right? But today, it's that little person. It's a goblin. Let's go into wizard first. Step wide, turn out. Right shoulder back. Cast your spell twice in case the first one didn't work. Straighten the knee and tilt. Lift up out of the grave, rising mummy. Soft knees, goblin. Tuck your tail. Rise up to skeleton. Second time, step wide. Shoulder back. Cast your spell. Straighten the knee and tilt. And then use your core strength. Lift up. Soft knees. Goblin. Tuck your tail and rise up. Last one. Wizard. Hold that wand. Don't let it go. Straighten the knee and tilt. Lift up. And soft knees, goblin. Tuck your tail. And rise up to skeleton. Adding on, fourth layer. This is a balance pose here. So we're going to rise up from goblin and come into zombie. Both arms forward and your left leg is forward. Straight knee. Engage those abdominal muscles. We're not holding it. Just one breath, and you put that foot right back down. Going into wizard, turn it out, shoulder back, cast your spell twice, straighten the knee and tilt, lift up out of the grave, soft knees, goblin, tuck your tail, rise up, zombie, and release to skeleton. Second time, wizard, wave that wand, cast your spell, straighten the knee and tilt, lift up, soft knees, goblin, rise up, zombie, and release. One more time, step wide, arms out, shoulder back, take that wand, circle it around, straighten the knee and tilt, lift up, soft knees, goblin, tuck your tail, rise up, zombie, and release. Adding on, we're going to go right into another balance pose. So we're in that zombie. We're going to go into falling zombie. So if you need to, tap down first, and then extend the leg behind. All right? If you cannot bring the leg up behind, you can just bring the big toe to the earth, and you can be a falling zombie with a kickstand. All right, here we go. Wizard, cast your spell, straighten the knee and tilt, rise up out of the grave, soft knees, goblin, tuck your tail, rise up, zombie, and now you can tap down here and then go into falling zombie with big toe touching or float the foot. And now return to skeleton. Second time, wizard, cast your spell, straighten the knee and tilt, lift up, rising up out of the grave, soft knees, goblin, tuck your tail, rise up, zombie, and balance, falling zombie, skeleton. One more time, step wide, shoulder back, cast your spell, straighten the knee and tilt, lift up, rising mummy, soft knees, goblin, tuck your tail, rise and balance in zombie, and then falling zombie, and skeleton. Good work, my friends. There's only one pose left. Coming out of balance, we're going to take that left big toe off to the side and create a crescent moon with our arms. So you've got that kickstand with your big toe. 3 times. Here we go. Last 3. Step it wide. Wizard. Cast your spell. Straighten the knee and tilt. Rise up, rising mummy. Soft knees. Goblin, tuck your tail. Lift up and balance, zombie. Falling zombie. And now take that kickstand and create your crescent moon. Release to skeleton. Second time. Wizard. Cast your spell. Straighten the knee and tilt. Rise up out of the grave, soft knees, goblin, tuck your tail. Rise up, balance in zombie. Continue your balance in falling zombie. Take your kickstand out, crescent moon, and skeleton. Last one, step wide, shoulder back, cast your spell. Straighten the knee and tilt. Rise up, soft knees, goblin, tuck your tail. Rise and balance, zombie, falling zombie. Kickstand into crescent moon and skeleton. Whew, shake it out. Good work, my friends. If you need to get a sip of water, go ahead, because we're going to do that entire sequence on the other side. So step towards the other end of your mat. We'll start slow, so now that you've got that all memorized, don't be adding on those extra poses until we're ready. You've got to build that cake slowly so it has support and foundation. And that's what we are doing with those poses. We're building up our foundation of strength. Going into our skeleton pose and starting our first layer. Step your right leg wide, turn it out, throw your left shoulder back, and cast your spell with your right hand holding your wand. Return to skeleton. Second time, step wide, wizard, cast your spell, and return to skeleton. One more time, step it out, turning that knee out, throwing your left shoulder back, and cast your spell. Return to skeleton. Adding on, rising mummy, coming up out of the grave. Step into wizard, cast your spell twice, straighten the knee and tilt, and now lift up out of the grave, arms up, soft knees back to skeleton. Second time, wizard, cast your spell, straighten the knee and tilt, core strength lifts you up, rising mummy, soft knees, skeleton. One more time, step it wide, throw that left shoulder back, wave your wand, straighten the knee and tilt, rise up, soft knees, back to skeleton. Adding on our little person, our goblin squat that looks like chair squat. Step wide, wizard, casting your spell, straighten the knee and tilt, rising mummy, soft knees, sink your hips, tuck your tail, goblin, rise up. Second time, step wide, shoulder back, cast your spell, straighten the knee and tilt, rising mummy, soft knees, goblin, tuck your tail, rise to skeleton. One more time before we add on again. Step it wide, wizard. Wave that wand twice in case the first one didn't work. Straighten the knee and tilt. Core strength lifts you up out of the grave. Soft knees into goblin. Tuck your tail and rise up. Now we get into the challenging part. We're building up our foundation of strength so that we can go into those balance poses. Zombie is next. So just the right leg is coming forward, and we release it after just one breath cycle. Step it wide, wizard. Cast your spell twice. Straighten the knee and tilt. Rise up out of the grave. Soft knees, goblin. Tuck your tail. Rise up and lift that right leg forward and release, skeleton. Second time, step wide to wizard, cast your spell, straighten the knee and tilt, rise up, soft knees, goblin, tuck your tail, and rise up, zombie, release. Third time, step it wide, left shoulder back, cast your spell with your magic wand, straighten the knee and tilt, rise up, rising mummy, soft knees, goblin, tuck your tail, and rise up to balance, zombie, release. Adding on our second balance pose, falling zombie. I'm going to show it the first time with the less intensity version, where I'm going to tap down first and then just take the big toe behind for falling zombie. Second and the third time, I'll lift the leg behind. So you pick, it's up to you. Step it wide to wizard, shoulder back, wave that wand, straighten the knee and tilt, lift up, soft knees, goblin, rise up, zombie, and go. Now falling zombie, you can tap center and then tap behind and reach forward. And now skeleton. Second and third time I'll show it actually lifting the leg, but you pick. You can use kickstand if you want. Step it wide, wizard. Watch that knee alignment. Cast your spell. Straighten the knee and tilt. Rise up, mummy. Soft knees, goblin. Tuck your tail. Rise up and balance, zombie. And now falling zombie and skeleton. Third time, step it wide. Cast your spell. What are you changing? You're changing someone into a toad. Straighten the knee and tilt. Lift up with core strength. Soft knees, goblin. Zombie, balance. Falling zombie, balance. And skeleton. Adding our last layer on, this time you get to have some support with that big toe as your kickstand, and we're leaning towards the left in our crescent moon. 3 times and we're done with our layer cake. Step it wide, wizard, sweep that arm around, cast your spell, straighten the knee and tilt, core strength lifts you up out of the grave, rising mummy, soft knees, goblin, tuck your tail, lift up and balance, zombie, and now falling zombie, and now kickstand with the big toe, and crescent moon, skeleton. Twice more. Step it wide, wizard, cast your spell twice, straighten the knee and tilt, lift up, rising mummy, soft knees, goblin. Use that core strength to balance, zombie, into falling zombie, kickstand toe, and crescent moon. Return to skeleton. Last time, step it wide, watch your alignment, cast your spell twice, straighten the knee and tilt, rise up, soft knees, goblin, tuck your tail, balance, zombie, balance again, falling zombie, kickstand that big toe, crescent moon, and release to skeleton, and then shake your bones. Good work, my friends. Awesome, awesome layer cake there. Okay, you feel a little energy, a little heat in the body. We are going to finish with 2 standing poses that take us to the mat. And actually the second pose will actually take us down to the mat and we'll stay on the mat. So we are going to start with that pose. And then we're going to transition to walk the pirate plank. And that'll end with us on our hands and knees. So if you need a knee pad, now's the time to get it ready. We're going to be going into hands and knees after the second pose. But let's start with bat pose. go into a forward fold. So make that number 11 with your feet, tennis ball distance between the big toes, shoulders in your back pocket, skeleton. Keep your knees straight as you start to come into your forward fold, placing your hands on your thighs. Draw your shoulders away from your ears. Maybe you can come a little bit lower onto your shins. Don't hyperextend the knee joints, pushing those hips away from you. And now we're going to cradle the opposite elbow and look at your knees. Coming into a ragdoll pose, or we're calling this bat. Those bats hanging upside down in the cave. Maybe you have a little twist. Maybe the bat is just moving around here. Imagine your big bat wings on your back body. Expand through the shoulder blades. One more breath cycle. Center, soft knees. Slowly come all the way up. Head comes up last. And roll your shoulder blades into your back pockets. This next pose is going to take us down to our knees. I'm going to come to the back end of my mat, the back skinny end of my mat. If your mat is facing your screen, you just need to back up because we're going to be walking forward on our hands. We're walking the pirate plank on our hands, and we are going to become the pirate plank. So making the number 11 with your feet. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, come into the fold. Soften your knees so you can touch the mat with your hands. Walk all the way out. Straighten those legs. Stacking your shoulders over your wrists. Lift up. Push into the earth and lift up. Become the pirate plank. Push your heels away from you. Breathe. Let's do one down dog. And then knees down. Relax your toes. And take a quick little pumpkin pose. Here's the time to get out your knee pad if you want it. And also, this is the time if you want to bring your device down to the mat. I'm going to do that. You could also put it on a stack of books if you like. And we'll set up for the second part of our practice today, the second half, the last 30 minutes of our practice. Starting in hands and knees. So make big stars with your hands and place them on the mat. Line up your wrists under your shoulders and your knees under your hips. And we're going into scary black cat pose. So inhale, neutral spine. Exhale, scary black cat, round your back. And now inhale, drop the belly, bring the chin forward. This is cow pose, which isn't very much about Halloween, except cows say moo, which rhymes with boo. Come back into your scary cat. Alternate between scary black cat and cow, rhymes with boo. Go at your own pace. Bend the elbows if you like. Getting some mobility into that spine. One more pattern of cat and cow, and then we turn to neutral spine. We're going to go into dragon pose, fire breathing dragon 3 times. So step your right foot forward. Make sure it stays towards the right edge of your mat. You should feel a little stretch already in that left hip flexor. Let your hands become little TPs on the sides of the mat. Breathe, just easing into that stretch. And now bring both hands up to that right thigh and lift the chest. Oh, deeper stretch on that hip flexor on the left leg. We're going to go into our fire breathing dragon, which looks a lot like crescent lunge fold. One or both arms up, rib cage up, lean back, and then exhale, fire breathing dragon. If you want, lift up both arms, spread your wings, your dragon wings, and then exhale, fold and roar. One more time, fire breathing dragon. And then stay here with your hands on the mat. Bring both hands to the inside of that right foot. We're going to go into just a quick little lizard, a little creepy crawly lizard here, by bending the elbows a couple times.
And then pause with the elbows bent, bow the head. Look at the left knee behind you, creepy crawly lizard. We're going to turn this into witch riding her broom. Keep your right hand on the mat and send that left arm out. Palm open to the sky. Keep looking at the left knee behind you. Your left arm is your witch's broom. You're flying through the sky. Or maybe you want the challenge variation. Keep that left arm up and tuck your right arm under your right thigh. Now your right arm is your witch's broom and you're riding it through the sky. Ooh, deeper stretch, balance. One more breath cycle. And return both hands. We're going to step that right foot back and we're going to come into a pose that looks a lot like down dog, but today it's werewolf. So tuck that knee behind you. Center up the hands under the shoulders. Step back by curling the toes onto the mat and then exhale, hips up to the sky and prance. One foot and then the other, dropping the heels a little bit closer to the earth. This is your werewolf running through the woods. Pause. Bearing the weight on your right foot, send your left leg up to the sky. Your werewolf is getting ready to pounce, but we're going to turn werewolf into scorpion. Turn your left thigh towards your screen and bend the knee. You created your scorpion tail. Breathe. One more breath cycle. Draw that knee into the nose, arching the back to that werewolf, pounce, and then set the knee down. Both knees come down. Come into a brief little pumpkin pose. Round your back. Breathe. We're going to do one more pose here on this side before we switch. Pull it back forward. We're going to come back into that lunge. Right leg forward again. Because I forgot, I should have put this in front of werewolf, but that's okay. We can put it out of order. We're going to go into flying monkeys, which is actually half monkey pose. Stretch for the back of the leg. Walk your hands back, straighten the right knee, keep the heel on the mat, and then walk it forward, lift the heart. Keep your hands on the mat. Do that again. Walk it back, half monkey, or flying monkeys today. Crawl it forward, lift the heart. Third one we hold, walk it back. Stay here, we're going to bend the elbows 3 times, just a tiny bit. Bend and straighten, bend and straighten, bend and straighten. Bring it forward and bring that knee back down onto the mat, and we'll go back into our brief little pumpkin pose. We're going to do that entire sequence on the other side. I'm going to turn around so that you can see the side view of the poses. You don't have to turn around. I'm going to be calling out your right and your left as if I'm your mirror image. Hands come back into that starfish position, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, going back into scary black cat, and cow who says moo rhymes with boo. Inhale, neutral spine. Exhale, scary black cat. Inhale, drop the belly. Moo rhymes with boo, and at your own pace. Scary black cat and cow. Keep that spine youthful, flexible. Bend the elbows if you like. One more pattern, have scary black cat and cow. And then return to neutral spine. Going into our dragon pose. So send that left leg forward. Hands to the edges of your mat. Just starting off with a little baby static stretch there for the hip flexor. Breathe. And now deepening that stretch, bring the hands up to the thigh, lift the chest. For that deeper stretch on the right hip flexor. And we'll go into our fire-breathing dragon. If you want, you can keep one hand on the thigh and just raise up one of your wings. And then exhale, fold. Or lift up with both arms, open and fold. One more time, lift, spread those wings. And fire-breathing dragon. Keep your hands on the mat, but bring both hands to the inside of that left foot. Spread your fingers wide. And we'll go into our creepy crawly lizard a couple times, bending the elbows and straightening, feeling that deeper stretch on the left thigh. Bow your head, look at the right knee behind you, and then pause with the elbows bent. We're going to go into our witch flying on the broom. Let's take it less intensity first. Keeping your left hand on the mat, send your right arm out. Palms open to the sky, and that's your broom. You can stay here, or you can take the more intense version, tucking that left arm under your left thigh, palms open to the sky, routing your broom. Take one more breath cycle. And return both hands to the mat. Bring that left hand back around to the outside of the left foot. And this time we'll do it in order. We'll do our flying monkeys before we go into werewolf. So walk your hands back, straighten your left leg, heel stays attached, toes point up, and then crawl it forward, lift the heart. Do that again. Exhale back, flying monkeys, stretching the back of the leg. Inhale forward, lift the heart. Third one, and this one we hold. Crawl it back. We'll add that deeper stretch, just very small motion here. Bend the elbows a tiny bit and straighten back out. Twice more. Bend and straighten. Last one, bend and straighten. Bring those hands back forward, lowering the toes. And now we're going to go into werewolf. Tuck that left foot behind you. Spread your hands wide. Step the feet back, curling the toes onto the mat. Exhale the hips up to the sky. Lift up through the armpits. Press your thigh bones into your legs. And now prance your down dog. Prancing your werewolf, running through the woods. Getting a deeper stretch on the backs of the legs. Pause the motion. And we're going to bear the weight on the left foot as the right leg comes up to the sky. Getting ready to pounce on our prey, except we're turning it into scorpion. Rotate your right thigh. Thigh is facing your screen. Bend the knee. Create your scorpion tail. One more breath cycle. Draw your right knee to your nose. You're back to that werewolf, pouncing on your prey. And then let the knee come down. Both knees down. And sink back into your pumpkin pose. We're going to go into lying on our belly poses now. So you can get rid of your knee pad if you like. So it's not in the way to lie on your belly. And we are going to come back into our black cat just for a brief moment here. And then lower our elbows. This next pose is sea serpent, rising up out of the scary black sea. Step back, curl your toes onto the mat. Looks like dolphin plank, right? But it's not a dolphin today, it's a sea serpent. Exhale, hips up, rise up out of the sea. Inhale, hips level. 3 more times. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Last one, hips up. Hips level, knees down, pumpkin pose. Release the back body. Now we're going to come all the way to our belly. Pressing the pubic bone into the mat. We'll do a few poses in this prone position. Our first pose is serpent. Poses on the belly tend to be spinal extensions, working on the flexibility and the mobility of our spine. Make sure you lift your ribcage away from your hips as if you were on one of those torture machines, the rack, trying to make space between the vertebrae. Place your hands beneath your shoulders. Press the pubic bone into the mat. Let your toenails rest on the mat. So when you lift the chest, you're going to want to pull your elbows back, pulling the shoulders back with them, and bring your nose forward. Inhale, lift up, elbows back, nose forward.
Exhale, lower down. We'll do it twice more, and we're gonna add a twist. Inhale, lift up, elbows back, nose forward. Turn to look towards your screen, and release down. One more time. This time you'll be looking away. Inhale, lift up, elbows back, nose forward. Turn away from your screen, and release. Place your hands on the mat, and let your face rest on your hands. We're going to do one more pose, lying on our belly. It's flying ghost pose today. Looks a lot like locust. Bring your hands down by your hips, palms facing your hips. Let's start with just the upper body part of ghost, if ghosts had bodies. Inhale, lift the chest, lift the hands. Exhale, release. Twice more. Inhale, lift the chest, lift the hands, and release. Remember, lengthen the spine. You're on that rack. Inhale, lift the chest, lift the hands, and release. Bring your hands forward so you have a little support. Now we're just going to do the lower body. So you can rest your face on your hands or your chin. Keep that pubic bone pressed into the mat. We're only lifting from the knees downwards. So keep the pubic bone pressed. Inhale, lift the knees. Exhale, release. Second time, inhale, lift the knees. Exhale, release. Last one, inhale, lift the knees. Exhale, release. We're going to put them together. If that's too much for your low back, do one or the other, just the upper body or just the lower body. You pick. Bringing the hands once again behind by the hips, or if you want, you could hold your own hand behind your back. Take one breath cycle to prepare. Keep that pubic bone pressed to the mat. Inhale, lift the upper body and the knees, and exhale, release. Second time, inhale, lift up, flying ghost, release. Last one, inhale, lift up, flying ghost, release. Hands beneath your shoulders, push back, crawl forward with your knees, and come into your pumpkin pose again. Bow your head. Let's stay a couple extra breath cycles in pumpkin this time. We just did a lot of spinal extensions in a row, so let's really stretch out the back body here. Tuck the chin, push out through the shoulder blade area and the low back area. One more breath cycle. Lift your chest. We're going to lie on our backs now. So go ahead and set your hips down on the mat. I'm going to swing my feet to the opposite end today. My head tends to be in the shadow if I'm too close to the banquette. So go ahead and come all the way down, lowering your body to the mat. Once you're there, adjust your low back, make a good connection. I might have to lose the witch's hat down here. Yep. Draw your knees into your chest, add a little sway. Massage the back body, upside down child's pose, or maybe upside down pumpkin pose today. And then pause the motion. We're going to go into toad pose, because I think when we were casting our spell, maybe we turned somebody into a toad. So place your hands flat on the mat, press your upper arms into the mat, bring your heels together and open your knees. And now push your feet up towards the ceilings, closing the knees, and then draw the heels back towards your body, opening the knees. Continue with that pose here, like you're a toad jumping, bending and straightening your little tiny toad knee joints. If you want more challenge here, engaging those abdominal muscles, then you can start to bring the feet a little bit lower. So maybe out to a 45-degree angle. The most challenging version is to imagine that your heels are along a coffee table and keep them at that same height as they slide in and away from your body.
Do one more toad pose and hug your knees. Maybe add a little sway if that feels good. We're going to go into dying bug pose next. Bend your knees, feet are floating, and reach your arms up to the sky. I'm calling out your right and your left. I would be your mirror image if you were set up like I am. Go ahead and lower your right arm and your left toe. Come back up and switch. Contralateral limb lowering. You can stay here with bent legs. If you want more challenge, straighten those legs and do the same thing. Dying bug pose. Do one more each set of limbs. And hug your knees. Add a little sway. And now our bug has finally died, and we're going to go into dead bug pose, which looks a lot like Happy Baby, and it's a nice stretch. So with the knees bent, let the soles of the feet look up at the ceiling. Keep your knees and feet wide, and then reach your hands up to your shins, your ankles, your big toes, or wrap the hands onto the soles of the feet and tuck those knees a little closer to your armpits. Relax your shoulders, let them fall backwards into the mat, and if you'd like, add just a soft sway here. We're stretching the very low back around the tailbone and sacrum area, as well as the hips, and a little baby stretch for the inner thighs because the legs are wide. Dead bug. One more breath cycle. Pause the motion and slowly bring your arms down, and one at a time bring the feet down. All right, here's where my creativity draws to an end. We're just going to go into some stretches here, and these I haven't renamed for Halloween. They're the basic set of thigh stretches that we do at the end of our practice. So let's get all those good stretches in as well, even though they don't have Halloween names. Go ahead and hug your left knee into your chest and straighten your right foot down to the bottom of your mat. Relax your shoulders. Breathe. Extend the right leg to the sky, bringing your hands behind your thigh and drawing that straight leg closer to you. Allow your shoulders to relax into the earth. Look up at your toes. Keeping the leg in the air, release the pressure so it's back in that vertical position. You can keep the hands on the thigh if you like and add some ankle mobility. Move those bones around. Very mobile joints, so get it all lubricated up. And then hug the knee into the chest again. We'll go into our inner and outer thigh stretches here. Go ahead and take that left hand on the left bent knee and open it to the left for an inner thigh stretch. Shoulders relaxed. One more breath cycle. And push the knee to center. We'll take it to the opposite side. Taking your right hand on the bent left knee, draw it across the body. If you'd like, your left hand can come out into a T or a cactus arm to give you some stability. Outer thigh and hip. And we're going to take it to all the thigh muscles today, including the quad. So while you're here, pulling that knee over to your right, go ahead and lie on your right, stacking the knees. You can let your right arm be a pillow for your head as we stretch the quadricep. Float that left leg, grab the left foot with the left hand, and then pull the heel towards your bottom. Once you're in position to deepen the stretch, push the foot into the hand and feel that deepen the stretch on the top of the thigh. One more breath cycle. Release. Roll onto your spine again. Adjust your low back, and we'll do that sequence on the other side. So straighten out your left leg, heel comes to the bottom of your mat, and hug your right knee into your chest. Relax the shoulders down. Straighten that leg up, bringing the hands behind your thigh. Candlestick pose. Relaxing the shoulders, pulling the straight leg towards you for a deeper stretch. Don't add any motion yet. Let's just work on the stretch first. Breathe. And now keeping the leg up in the air, release the pressure so the leg goes back to vertical. And now add that motion of moving those bones around. That very mobile ankle joint. And then hug the knee back into the chest. Going into our inner thigh stretch. Keep the right hand on the right bent knee. Open it to the right. Look up at the ceiling here. You don't need to look at your screen. And push the knee back to center. Taking your left hand, on that right bent knee. Draw it across your body. Your right arm can come out for some stability here. Breathe. We're going to add the quadricep stretch on this side as well. You'll be rolling away from your screen, so go ahead and roll all the way onto your left hip, stacking your knees. Letting your left arm be a pillow for your head. And then float that right heel up towards your bottom. Grab it with your right hand. And then push the foot into the hand. One more breath cycle. Release and come back onto your spine. Center your body once again. Hug both knees into your chest. Add a little sway. Upside down pumpkin. Just a few more stretches to finish off our Halloween practice today. We'll go into our figure 4, or also called supine pigeon. Plant your feet on the mat. Pick up your right foot. Place it above the left knee. Reach behind your left thigh with both hands and draw that thigh closer to you. Then let your shoulders fall into the mat. You can remain static, or if you'd like, you can straighten and bend your left knee. You pick. If you're remaining static, you can keep the foot low, or you can pick it up a little higher, and that'll intensify or enhance the stretch. One more breath cycle. Release the left thigh and we'll switch sides. Place both hands behind your right thigh. Hug that thigh closer to your body and then let the shoulders relax down towards the mat. Again, you can remain static here, or you could bring that heel up a little higher, enhancing the stretch, or you could add the motion, straighten and bend. One more breath cycle. And then release. Plant both feet flat on the mat. Separate your feet wide as the mat. Your hands can rest on your belly, or you can come to cactus arms or a T, whatever's comfortable to you. We're going into windshield wipers just to finish off with a little massage. Drop both knees to one direction and then the other. Close your eyes. Maybe look straight up at the ceiling if your eyes are open. You don't need to turn your head here. Finishing with a little massage to the base of the spine, our skeleton spine. We're going to transition now into relaxation. So pause the motion. If you want, you can keep your knees bent. You could let them rest against each other if you like. Or you could straighten your legs out for our last Halloween pose, which is corpse pose. And that one I didn't have to change the name of. Let your gaze be towards the ceiling. Close your eyes. Relax every muscle in your body. I'm sitting up just to project my voice, but please remain in that relaxed pose. Survey your body from the toes all the way up. Let everything sink into the earth. Relax. And when you make your way all the way up to the top of your body, think about every component in your face. Let your brows relax, your eyes, your cheekbones, your tongue, your throat, everything relaxed. Deep breath cycles here. I hope you've enjoyed our Halloween practice today. It was much like our poses that we know and love. We just got a little creative and had a little fun with the names. Take 2 more breath cycles, my friends. Now wiggle your fingers and toes. Your corpse is coming back to life. Reawaken your nervous system. We'll return to a seated pose. So if you'd like, you could lift your corpse up out of the grave with either a sit-up or roll to your side, push into that earth, and come back to a seated pose. My quote today is from a character who's been in several movies, actually, and he just offers so much wisdom that I had to include his quote today as we celebrate Halloween. And that person's name is Linus. Yeah, from the Charlie Brown gang. And Linus said, as they were talking to each other in the pumpkin patch, there are 3 things that I've learned never to discuss with people: religion, politics, and the great pumpkin. Right, Charlie Brown? Don't even talk about it. Bring your hands outside your hips, inhale to the sky, let your thumbs touch your mind, your spirit breath, and your body. The spirit in me honors the spirit in all of you. Namaste. Happy haunting. I hope you enjoyed our practice today, and until next time, keep breathing.